Good afternoon, FUS community. My name is Sean Kenny with the Franciscan Beat, bringing you today's top headlines from on campus and around the world. But before we begin, I encourage you to subscribe to the Franciscan Beat YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the latest and greatest news from our campus. Another train has derailed in Ohio, this time in the small city of Delphos, a city approximately 88 miles southwest of Toledo near the state's western border. Law enforcement in Delphos was notified around 12:45 a.m. on Sunday that a train running through the center of the city derailed near a grain elevator, according to your hometown stations. The train toppled a pair of electrical poles and shut down several intersections after it went off the rails. There were no serious reports of injuries, and it does not appear the train was carrying any hazardous substances. The area was cleared by the Delphos Fire Department on Sunday afternoon. Newly revealed internal emails from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, reveal that the federal government was aware of a potential link between myocarditis and COVID-19 vaccination long before the publicly available evidence became overwhelming. On February 15th, Epoch Times reporter Zachary Steiber published over 1,000 pages of emails on myocarditis reports related to the then-new COVID shots, obtained via a federal Freedom of Information Act request, and all spanning the week of May 10th through 17th, 2021. Reports include two separate emails that each report a trio of cases relatively close together, within several days and recent among adolescents and teen/young adult males, and another reporting, quote, 5, maybe 6 U.S. cases of post-Pfizer vaccine myocarditis in healthy males, unquote. Boston pediatrician Dr. Jane Newberger relayed that she had been, quote, hearing of more and more cases of youth who are developing myocarditis and MIS-C-like syndromes within a short time after the second COVID-19 vaccine, end quote. Arguably more alarming than the cases themselves, however, are the reactions of public health officials. In one, the CDC's John Su reveals that, quote, when we look for these patients in VAERS, the Federal Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, in response to myocarditis reports from Israel and the U.S. Department of Defense, quote, we're not finding them. Seemingly, providers aren't reporting these cases to VAERS. The Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals has opted to rehear a lawsuit against the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference by a group of female athletes challenging the body's decision to force them to compete against biological males who claim to be trans women. Alliance Defending Freedom, or ADF, is suing CIAC on behalf of runners Selena Sewell, Elena Smith, and Chelsea Mitchell. CIAC's official handbook states that the conference, quote, shall defer to the determination of the student and his or her local school regarding gender identification, without any conditions pertaining to physical transitions or testosterone levels. This has led to biologically male competitors consistently outperforming actual females and depriving them of numerous opportunities, according to the lawsuit. In December, a 3-judge panel of the Second Circuit ruled against the girls, upholding a prior decision to dismiss the case on the grounds that they had allegedly failed to adequately demonstrate both injury and their entitlement to compensatory damages. But on February 13th, the court announced that a majority of its active judges have voted for the case to be reheard by the full court, Catholic News Agency reports. A date for the new proceedings will be announced later. Quote, we're pleased that the Second Circuit has decided to rehear this important case, and we urge the court to protect women's athletic opportunities, ADF Senior Counsel Christiana Kiefer responded. Quote, 18 states have enacted laws that protect women and girls from having to compete against males, and the polls show that a majority of Americans agree that the competition is no longer fair when males are permitted to compete in women's sports. Every woman deserves the respect and dignity that comes with having an equal opportunity to excel and win in athletics, and the ADF remains committed to protecting the future of women's sports, end quote. Mandatory inclusion of gender-confused individuals or people who merely claim to be the opposite gender in opposite-sex sports is billed as a matter of sensitivity and respect for perceived quote-unquote gender identity. But critics argue that indulging transgender athletes in this way undermines the original rational basis for having sex-specific athletes in the first place. thereby depriving female athletes of recognition and professional or academic opportunities. Scientific research affirms that the physiology gives males distinct athletic advantages that can't be fully negated by hormone suppression. Conservatives also argue that forcing women and girls to share intimate facilities such as showers and lockers with men and boys violates their privacy, subjects them to needless emotional stress, and gives potential male predators a viable pretext to enter female bathrooms or lockers by simply claiming transgender status, regardless of whether they are sincerely dysphoric. In numerous years, numerous states have enacted policies banning public institutions from forcing women and girls to share intimate facilities or sex-specific athletic programs with males. As for today's weather, today was a high of 53 degrees. Tonight expect temperatures around 34. Tomorrow is going to be pretty rainy with a high of 58. The next few days are going to fluctuate between the low 70s and the mid 30s. Well, that about wraps it up for today. Thank you for tuning in to the Franciscan Beat News Show. My name is Sean Kenny, and I will see you all tomorrow. Good night, Steubenville!